Hello, my name is Daniot and welcome to this free English course. In today's video, I am going to teach you how to answer to this confusing question. Do you know what question it is? It is, how do you do? Many people have trouble. They don't know what to answer when somebody says to them, how do you do? In this video, I am going to teach you what to answer. You're going to fix this problem. Stay tuned and then share this video. Welcome back. How do you do is a confusion question. How do you do c'est une question qui ba un pile problème. Un pile fois, maybe you had this problem. Peut-être ou t'es un problème ça. You didn't know before what to say, what to reply, or what to respond. Now, you're gonna find many ways to answer to this question in this course. How do you do? You know, you have to pronounce that very well. You don't say how. Ou pas dit how l'on prononce ça. H-O-W prononce comme how instead of saying how. Don't say how are you. Say how are you. How. How. You stress the H and then you pronounce all as a. How. How. How do you do? How do you do? How do you do? Like, if you meet someone for the first time, you might hear this question, how do you do? How do you do is a question they very often ask to somebody when they first meet. When two people meet for the first time, you often hear this question asking, how do you do? Les deux moun rencontrés pour la première fois, souvent entendez question ça à poser. How do you do? But what this question means? Qui sa question ça a veut dire? This question means either how are you or nice to meet you. C'est ça question ça veut dire. Question ça, les opposés il veut dire comment on y est ou bien moins content faire connaissance avec. Moins content rencontrer. But it's not a question that requires to say, even though you feel bad, you have to say fine. You have to show that everything is okay. Because it's not a question that an open question you can explain everything. You can give a positive answer to this question. Whenever they ask this question to you, give a positive answer. Quel que soit là où tu as posé une question ça, mais bat pour toujours répondre avec une réponse positive. Donc, how can you answer? The response is, comment capable répondre? When they say, how do you do? Les audio, how do you do? Dans conversation de mon rencontre. Like, if I have my friend, and I have my friend and then I have another friend, I want to introduce this friend. Like I have Junior with my friend, and I have Jack, a second friend that I have. They didn't meet together. Junior avec Mark, pas rencontré avant. But on voulait faire connaissance. And then I say, oh, Mark, I want to introduce you Junior. And they say, oh, Junior and Mark, how do you do? Okay, là c'est une connaissance qu'a fait. You can answer, how do you do too? You can say, how do you do? Si moun nan dit, how do you do? Ou capable répondre to, how do you do? It's not a big deal. C'est pas un gros problème. How do you do? It's normal to say, how do you do also? Hey, how do you do? How do you do? Okay, you can say, how do you do? But if you don't want to say, how do you do? You can simply say, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Jack, let me introduce you, Bob. Oh, Bob, nice to meet you, Bob. Or nice to meet you, Bob. If you don't want to say, how do you do? You can say, nice to meet you too. Or nice to meet you. Nice to meet you or nice to meet you too. Sometimes they do not say, how do you do? Sometimes they don't use this question. They say only, let me introduce you and let me introduce you Jack or John. And you say, oh, nice to meet you, John. My name is Jack, nice to meet you, John. Okay? Good. If you don't want to say nice to meet you, you can say it's a pleasure. This is what gives problem to people. Pleasure. It is pronounced as pleasure. Most are pronounced comme pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's plus the linking. It's plus ou font liaison. It's a pleasure to meet you. Là, on font liaison encore. It's a pleasure to meet you. It's a pleasure to meet you. It's a pleasure to meet you. C'est un plaisir pour me rencontrer. It's a pleasure to meet you. If you don't want to say, how do you do? You can say, nice to meet you, or you can say, it's a pleasure to meet you. It's a pleasure to meet you, not both. Pas utiliser tous les deux. You can say either nice to meet you or it's a pleasure to meet you. Vous pouvez dire soit nice to meet you ou bien it's a pleasure to meet you. C'est une là-dedans ou a dit lorsque vous même parlez. Bien que vous ne mettez un, deux, mettez le trois, vous mettez comme ça. It's a pleasure to meet you. Let's go to see number 3. You can say, if somebody says to you, how do you do? You can say, fine, thanks. Or fine, thank you. Fine, thank you. On est capable de dire, how do you do? You say, fine, thank you. Okay? Ou bien, on est capable de dire, thanks and you. Thanks and you. You plus dire and you au lieu de and you. Thanks and you. How do you do? Fine, thank you. Or capable de dire, how do you do? Thanks and you. Ça, c'est une façon pour répondre à une question, how do you do? Okay, how do you do? Fine, thank you. How do you do? Thanks and you. Okay? How do you do? Very well, thanks. You can say very well, thanks. How do you do? Very well, thanks. Very well, thanks. Vous capable de répondre how do you do comme ça. Okay, but less formal, it's not really formal. I say less formal, it's not too formal. You can say hello. How do you do? Hello. Donc, c'est façon ça pour répondre how do you do. Let me make a brush up for you. You can respond, how do you do? How do you do? By how do you do? Vous pouvez répondre how do you do par how do you do? Vous pouvez répondre how do you do too? Nice to meet you. Vous pouvez répondre how do you do par it's a pleasure to meet you. Vous pouvez répondre how do you do par fine, thank you. Vous pouvez répondre how do you do par thanks, and you. Vous pouvez répondre how do you do par very well, thanks. On ça tout pouvez répondre how do you do? Hello. Hey Jack, nice to meet you. Bien, how do you do? Hello. Ben, le plus souvent, you shake hand. Ben, la main. OK? You fait présentation, you Jack and John. How do you do? Hello. Ben, vous say hello. Donc, it's all ways that you can respond to how do you do. C'est toute façon ça pour capable répondre par question ça qui ont déjà by confusion. C'est how do you do. Please support, share, and appreciate. Love for you, and I will receive the same love from you. Bye bye, and catch you in the next video.